Welcome everyone to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Church. I'm a music producer from Northeast Ohio. I began this weekly interview series to give you different perspectives on how to approach a career in the field from different artists, producers, engineers, and other great minds who share their stories on not only what's made them succeed, but also what has shaped them into the people that they are today. I hope you gain some real proven knowledge from the show, and that it helps elevate you in your endeavors on your own journey towards success as well. Let's get into it. Going on, everyone. Welcome to episode 175 here in the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is the Creator Series. Today I welcomed a DJ and producer from Missouri. His name is Jay Johnson. I connected with Jay once again through our good friend Dee Dot. Jay actually reached out to me with an inquiry about being on the podcast, and I was happy to have him on the show today finally after a few months. We discussed, his love for DJing initially and how that led him to want to begin to produce over the past 5 or 6 years. We talked about, the importance of putting out a discography as a producer. He talked about his project Mosaic and how that came together. It just released about a few months back. What he's going to be doing moving forward, talking about keeping versatility in the music and keeping an overall quality. I love Jay's story about, being a child and, what his sister meant to him along with his other musical influences, how that has just been able to keep him going all these years, and keep evolving and keep creating and being himself. We talked about, the big overall theme of the episode to me was, being yourself, finding your unique voice, whether you're an artist or a producer or whatever you do. You can take influences from other people, but at the end of the day, you got to always be you and stay true to your vision. And I think that's something Jay has done, is going to continue to do moving forward. So I appreciate him for lending his time and his voice this week. And I look forward to connecting with him again soon. And as always, I hope you guys enjoy this one. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, welcome everyone to episode 175 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is the Creator Series. Today we have an Arkansas-based producer and DJ. Everyone, please welcome Jay Johnson. How you doing, man?
Take that back, sir. I'm not from Arkansas. I'm in Arkansas working right now.
Arkansas-based.
I am
Arkansas-based.
Based out of Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm just in Arkansas on some business right now, but small thing to a giant, man. Appreciate you for having me.
Absolutely, man. And I'll definitely, I'm sorry I messed that up, but I definitely appreciate you checking in no matter what, and, doing it on the job too, because that's super impressive. And, like I said, I'm happy to have you here, man. And just to kind of start off every episode, we have the guest give some background. How long have you been doing music? How'd you get into it initially? Just some basic info for those that might not know you and what you do.
No doubt, man. Well, it's strange how I got into the music business, because I started off as a DJ. I've been DJing since I was 16 years old, and so I would say about 5 or 6 years ago, I was when I retired from the military, in the town that I'm in, I was DJing a party for a motorcycle club, and somebody, I forget who this person was, came up to me and requested a song. And I'm sitting here listening to the song. I'm just like, you know what? I can do this. It's not like it's 30 or 40 instruments. All I hear is a kick drum, a snare drum, maybe a doggone hi-hat rhythm, and a couple of melodies. I'm just like, this is too easy. Mm-hmm. So I actually went to school for music and music production. And 5 or 6 years later, here I am, making music, trying to get with people and collaborate and do all that type of stuff. So that's how I really got started with music production. So
yeah, well, that's super awesome, man. And I saw that you use the MPC, the Akai MPC, one of your main tools there. So is that what you're still using? Is that primarily what you're using when you're making beats still?
So my first beat machine, and I apologize, and I apologize to Dallas Austin, but I started off with a beat machine called the Beat Thing, right? And it was okay. But when I went to go track out the music that I made, it wouldn't track out. So I'm just like, you know what? If it's not going to do what I need to do, I'm going to go get something else. I go to Guitar Center, trade it in, and then I get the Native Instruments machine, which was written, and Native Instruments, they put together a good piece of doggone equipment and all that good stuff, but they don't take WAV files. They don't take MP3 files. All they take is AIFF files. And I noticed that some of the packs that you get, when you get from somebody, it's like WAV files or MP3 files or whatever. So I did some research, went over to Akai, and noticed that they will take pretty much any file that you put on it. Yep. And I'm just like, sold. So I started off with the MPC Studio, the silver one, by the way. Started off with that one. And then I found somebody who did not like the MPC Renaissance, and he sold it to me for $300, and I still have it. And then with me traveling all over the place, I was feeling kind of like inspired, but can't do any music, so I bought an MPC Live. As a matter of fact, I got it with me right now. If you can see it.
Oh yeah, I see the outline.
I got it.
Yep.
I got it with me right now. So that's my traveling buddy. So anywhere I go somewhere, I don't care if I'm only going for 72 hours or 2 days or whatever. I got it with me. As a matter of fact, the trip I'm on now is only 2 days. I just got in a hotel. I'm working in Arkansas. What's today? Tuesday. I'm working in Arkansas Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm going home Friday. So I can guarantee you by the time I pack up and leave Friday, I'm looking at trying to get at least 2 tracks done. So.
Yeah, man. And it's super great to be able to make things on the go, too, which I love doing that as well, and that's super great to hear. And now that I know more of your background and what you do as well with music, I got to ask about work-life balance, because that's obviously a huge thing with a lot of people that make music, especially if they have other things going on in their life. How do you yourself balance that between, you need time to make beats, and then you also have your job, and you also have your personal life as well? Like, how are you balancing all that nowadays?
It's not, to be honest with you, it's pretty easy. If you have a solid foundation with your family and they know what you do, it's not that hard. So my schedule when I'm at home is like this. Get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. All right, I get up, meditate, get my little gym bag ready. I go to the gym at 5 o'clock. So let's just say from 5 to 6:30, I'm in the gym. By the time I get home, my children are going to school, and with the job I have, with the employment I have, I get to work from home. They call it working remote. So we don't have an office, so I work from home. So if there is nothing for me to do, like wash dishes, take trash out, do whatever, if everybody's done their jobs that they were supposed to do at home, and my boss doesn't send me anything, I get to do music.
Yeah.
And that's my balance. Kids get home around 3:30. Stop what I'm doing, help them with their homework, get them fed, and all this good stuff. And then once that's done, everything calms down. I go right back downstairs in my studio and plan out the next day. That's how I do the balance. I make sure that I ensure myself that my family's going to come first. No matter what goes on, my family's coming first. And I'll make sure that by helping them get ready to school, by getting them to school, getting them from school, helping them with homework, or my son is a gamer. I'll get on and play games with him for a good hour before something happens and all that good stuff. So, but the balance is there, but you got to have a strong family foundation and have people that believe in you and that will back you at what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, that's super great to hear, man. I'm happy for you that you have that as well, because I think that's super awesome. And like we said, just kind of keeping those things in mind. And I think every person's, their whole situation is different as well. It's just finding ways to work for you. You know what I mean? So if you can find that, that's always the end goal at the end of the day. And I definitely wanted to get into some of the music as well, because I believe you dropped an instrumental album not too long ago, 10 songs, correct?
Yeah, so that album was called Mosaic. That was my last. That was my last album, and it came about kind of. I had an artist who's a neo soul / R&B artist from Lexington, Kentucky. He reached out to me and was like, "Hey man, heard about you. I've seen some of your music. I've heard some of your music doing pretty well. I would like to see if our styles can connect some type of way. So if you could make me a neo soul song and see if we can work, I'd be much appreciated." And that song that I did for him actually got me motivated, and I was felt very inspired by doing it. And I ended up adding 9 more to that and put out an album called Mosaic. So it's and being my first time ever trying to do like neo soul, or well, I do R&B. Let's just go ahead and dispel that myth. I can do R&B, but doing like a neo soul album, like with the likes of Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Music Soul Child on those wavelengths, and for me to complete it and it sound great, it's beautiful. And we're still working with each other, connecting, and hopefully we could get more in tune with each other and try to do a collaboration out with each other. And I think it'll be great.
Yeah, that's super great, man. I love the name too, Mosaic. I think that's an amazing title as well. And I definitely wanted to use that to kind of ask the next question, which is, being able to release music as a producer, do solo projects, do like singles, things like that. Is that something you want to keep doing and keep building your own catalog and your own discography and just keep doing that?
Of course. I mean, and my thing with that is that by me making my music, I'm showing artists, other whether it be R&B artists, whether it be a lyricist, whether it be a whoever, that that I'm adaptive, that I can adapt to what you're doing, and and if you need to listen to something, hey, how about this? Listen to my catalog and see what I can do, and let's blend our styles together. But I think the end state for everybody is to always, if you want to work with somebody. I mean, I would love to have somebody to grab a song from Mosaic and do something over it. I would love to have that. But in the meantime, I'm definitely going to build up my catalog and make sure that, I do things my way, and which is it's easy to do because you're your own entity and you know the message that you want to get out with your music, and you don't want somebody to tarnish your image at the time. Like it's kind of hard to say, because it's like somebody selling beats. You can have one of the best beats of the year, but if the wrong person buys it from you and gets on it, you're like, why did I let that go? So it's kind of like it's kind of like now I have control over what I got, and it's easy to go, okay, well, I like this person. Let me get with this person to see if he wants to work. Well, okay, so she does the island vibe type deal. Let me do a couple of songs for her and see what we can do together. And that's what I like. It's I would say kind of like being a control freak right now. I mean, you make music, so you understand it. You just don't want the guy down the street to get on something and every other word is, something derogatory or something that, something that doesn't rhyme with orange, or something like that. So
yeah, man. I was gonna echo all that too, because I agree with everything you just said as well. And for me, because I'm a producer again as well, as like, it was like 3 years ago where I found that like putting out my own material was super vital to my success. Because I think before that, I was really just looking at it as, well, I have to have an artist buy this or get this from me, and they have to make it big. You know what I mean? But then I was like, well, I'm my own brand as well. I'm my own person, and I can put out music, and I can do all these things myself. And doing that, like doing the instrumental projects, and then doing like the collab EPs, singles, putting your name on it too, and making sure people know like you're the one that produced it, you're the one that helped put this whole thing together, craft the vision.
Exactly.
And like you said, you know, you don't know who's going to hear that. And then you might get someone reach out to you and be like, hey, I heard your work with so-and-so. Let's do something kind of like that, but in our own way. And one thing just kind of builds on to the next thing. So I definitely think it's super vital, especially now for producers to do that and to get their name out there, and to just build a brand and just be you. Like, you know, make your own sound, be yourself, and don't like chase anybody else's sound, and just kind of figure out where you want to go with it. So I think it's super awesome. I definitely agree with that.
And you know, and I try to tell a lot of artists, and it's like, okay, do you want to be the next Drake, or do you want to be the first you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, seriously consider this, because you know, record labels can find another Drake. Once Drake starts falling off, they'll be like, okay, we're done with you. We already been grooming your replacement for years now. And all we have to do is just pop him in and get the next person or whatever. Or do you want to be that artist or that producer or that musician that finds your own groove,
Mm-hmm.
or finds your niche, and you know, it's like a circle. It's like a never-ending circle, because remember when, you know, the late '80s, early '90s, when you had the R&B groups. Remember that? You know, where are they at now? There is no R&B groups. You got people that may try to do an R&B type deal or whatever, but as you notice, everything is starting to come back. The R&B sound, the groups, the 2 and 3 females in the group, the 4 and 5 guys in the group, all that's starting to come back. So everything has its cycle. And if you're that type of producer that only does trap beats, or you only do drill beats, within a couple of months you're going to be left out. Yeah. You're going to be like, oh, I should have done this, instead of you being, you know, you being, well, you know, deep in the game, and you have your own style, your own mantra, and you can do that drill beat, you can do that R&B beat, you can do that neo soul beat, you know, that Afro punk beat. You can do all these things instead of just doing, you know, using the same hi-hat, the same snare, you know, the same snare stem or something like that. So that's what I try to do when it comes to my music. I mean, if you go back to my catalog, I've done lo-fi albums, I've done R&B albums, I've done hip-hop albums, I've done, you know, stuff like that. I try not to pigeonhole myself with just one genre of music, or one style of music.
Mm-hmm. Hey, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick minute out to let you know how you can become a monthly supporter of the show. So if you click on the show description in your podcast platform, you'll see the words support this podcast toward the bottom, and you can follow that link to sign up. You have the options of donating $1, $5, or $10 a month, and that'll be used towards making the show a better experience for you as the listener. That means new and exciting guests, giveaways, and a lot more that we can continue to provide for you. So feel free to click that link and check it out, or visit anchor.fm/provenknowledge/support to contribute today. And for now, let's get back into the episode. I love the versatility too. Like that's super vital, and congrats on that, man. And definitely keep doing that, because like we said, I think the possibilities are endless, especially as a producer. We have so many things we can do, and just embrace your unique voice for everybody else out there too. I think that is something that you always got to keep in mind. And for you, man, I got to know as well, you know, outside of music, even just where you draw inspiration from on the daily. Like, what are you doing to kind of just free your mind and then come back to be able to create great music? Like, what is that for you?
Okay, I am going to have to start from the beginning, and I apologize. I apologize for this, but my very first inspiration to whatever music I have done, or I've listened to, or I have engaged with, it was my sister. Her name is Demetrius Johnson. She passed away, I would say about 13 years, right around my birthday. And I pay homage to her because the name of my company is called D Street Productions, and it's her name, and I pay homage to her at that. So, during, I want to say, 76, 79, around the era when hip-hop was being born, my family lived in New York. And I'm a little shorty. I can't go out to the parks and, at night and watch the DJs and the MCs and all that good stuff. So what my sister would do with me and my younger brother is that she would go downstairs to the pizza parlor, buy us a pizza, and would sit us on a fire escape. And we got to watch. It's like we had like a balcony view of the, of the DJs and the different crews, like running their crates outside and plugging up to the lights and doing their sets and all that good stuff. So that's where my love of music came from, was my sister Dee Dee. As for influences now, production-wise, I would say, of course, everybody's going to say Jay Dilla, and I try to listen to his stuff and scientifically break it down. Like, there is one song that he did with the Far Side, and the name of the song is called "Running." For the longest time, I have been. If you listen to the drums, every 4 measures, the beat changes. And I listen, like when I'm in the gym working out, I might stop and try to listen to that, try to dissect it, to see what's going on with that. I'm a big Jay Dilla fan. I love Timbaland and how he syncopates his doggone beats. If you listen to the old Aaliyah stuff more, like Rock the Boat, One in a Million, how the Missy Elliott stuff, how his beats changes, the P.D. Pablo stuff. I mean, he's just dynamic and phenomenal with his drums. Organized Confusion with Outkast. Oh my God, just their beats, especially the AT-Aliens album. Oh my God, if you're a producer, you gotta listen to those 3 guys. Of course, you got Dre. I love DJ Premier, DJ Scratch. Believe it or not, I love Scratch. Jazzy Jeff. It's a lot of people out there that I try to and I inspire from. And what I also challenge other producers to do is that listen to these people. All right, pick your own favorite, listen to them, and just take bits and pieces of what they're doing and make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I mean, it's not hard. You just gotta have the moxie to study your craft, because, like, once again, don't pigeonhole yourself. Just don't be a hip hop producer. Don't be a trap producer. You gotta study. It's the music game is forever evolving, and if you get stuck in the mud, you're gonna be a has-been. So.
Well, firstly, man, I gotta say, I always think about, especially for myself, and just, I think everybody has their why. Why do they make music? What is the real, joy behind it? And for you, I think your sister's such a huge part of that. I could just tell by the way you just told that story, man. So I think that's incredible. Yeah. And just for you to have that experience, I think was super vital as well. So thank you for sharing that, because that's super important.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I don't know if you've read the books that, because I have 2 books actually. One is the Dilla Time book, which came out last.
Oh, really?
I'll have to send these to you if you don't know about them, or if you don't have them yet. I will definitely send them to you. One is by an author named Dan Charnas, and he wrote this book. It's kind of like the autobiography of Dilla. It came out last winter. Great book. Read that one. And then there was actually a book that I read senior year of high school, which is Timbaland's autobiography, or it's actually, autobiography. The other one's biography, whatever. This one's called Emperor of Sound. That's the Timbaland one. Another amazing book. It's actually one of the books that led me to finally start producing, because it really just hearing his story and just reading about the trials he went through to get to where he became. I was just like, wow, this is incredible. So I'll have to send you those, man, if you're interested, because if you're a fan of those guys, man, super great. And I think they have the audiobooks too, for those. So whatever you prefer, but anybody else out there too that loves those guys, I would suggest checking those out, because they're super great reads. So
I also got to take it back. The RZA, I love
Wu-Tang.
Man.
Yeah, man.
Listen, Wu-Tang, the first, I mean, it when they came out, nobody was touching. Nobody was touching them. It was just like, yo, who is this? And it just, bam, just went crazy. Tribe Called Quest is a big one for me too. I love Tribe. It's just that I'm just a lover of music, man. I just, and I can, I very passionate about it. I have a message I want to get out with my music, and there was a quote my sister told me a long time ago, and I wrote it down, and I used to try to keep it with me all the time, and I forgot it verbatim. But the end state is that what she was trying to tell me is that music evokes feeling. It can take you back to a place to where you found your first love, or you experienced your first pain, or you've the highs and lows and all that good stuff. So that's what I try to do with my music. I try to take you to a place to where you've felt something before, and not in a bad way, but you can feel it, and it can help you heal and stuff like that. So that's what I try to do with my music.
Yeah, evoking real human emotion. Really, just trying to bring that out. Yeah, man, definitely agree with that, 100%. And last few questions here. These are ones I ask on every episode. These are more life-related questions. The first one is, if you could go back 10 years ago, maybe give yourself a piece of advice, maybe not change anything at all, what do you think you would do?
If I could give myself some advice for the 10 years from now, is that I should have started earlier. I should have started my music. I should have started producing earlier. Now I'm gonna keep it music. Now we all know that there's like, you shouldn't mess with that person, or you should have done save money, this and that. I'm gonna keep it music. Is that I wish that I would have done it a lot sooner. I know I know when it comes to my music, I have a story to tell, and I just wish that I would have started sooner instead of later, because the era of music that we're in now, unless you got a catchy hook and a dope beat, ain't nobody trying to listen to no words. And it's we need to get back to that. It's a lot of lyricists out here. It's a lot of artists out here that has something to say. And once again, if you put it with the right music and the right words, it will touch your heart, or it will move your soul, or it will do something to you to where you would have to stop and reflect on something. And that's where music needs to go back to. So that's my answer to that one, sir.
All right, so if we flip that then and we say 10 years from now, where do you think you envision yourself in music, life in general as well?
10 years from now, I'm really hoping that I could get my production label at least to being almost a household name, because let's just be honest. When you hear it, when a Dr. Dre beat comes on the radio, you know who it is. When a DJ Premier beat comes on the radio, you know who it is. That's my aim for right now. When you hear a Jay Johnson track, no matter who's on it, you just like, yo, that's Jay. That's D3 Productions right there. That's what I'm aiming for, and I'm going to get there. Yeah. Whether it be 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, I am not going to stop what I'm going on, because once again, everybody has vision, and I want the world to see what I got going on.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Got to keep going all in on that.
Yes, sir.
Super great. And do you have any final words of wisdom today for the listeners?
I think I already hit it. And my words of wisdom would always be you. Don't be the next Drake. Don't be the next Jay-Z. Take these people, listen to their styles, seriously sit down, listen to their cadences, listen to how they how they connect their words. Listen to the rhyming sequence. Don't be the Dr. Seuss rhyme. You know, the one fish, two fish, red fish, blue. Don't be that type of MC. Come with some substance. All right.
Mm.
You R&B singers, do me a favor and leave stuff to the imagination. I don't need you to always say, hey, baby, I want to take your clothes off and do whatever. There's other ways that you can say that, you know, to the imagination. All right? Just stay humble, stay in the moment, stay present, and evolve. Be you. Don't be anybody else. Be you. Just be you. That goes for me as well. I'm trying my best to be me. With everything I'm doing, especially with this music, I've been on this world a lot. I've on more than one occasion I had to humble myself, you know, and you know how everybody say quote unquote getting out the mud. I have been to the bottom, and I know what's down there, and I don't want to be there no more. So I strive to make myself better than the previous day. So
yeah,
that's my advice for everybody, man. Just be you, stay humble, stay focused, and then attack the day. Mm-hmm. Attack the day. So
absolutely, man. Well, Jay, that's all I have for you today. I want to say once again, thank you so much for wanting to be on the show, man. I had a great time. This was super awesome, and we're definitely gonna have to do it again soon. So
definitely. Oh, I do have one thing to say. If you go to all streaming platforms, whether it be SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, all that good stuff, look up Jay Johnson. You will see all of my music there. As a matter of fact, I am working on another album as we speak, and this one is for the bedroom. I'm just putting it out there like that. This is a nice, slow album, something that you and your significant other can wind down to. Don't have the name for it yet, but I'm actually looking at, once you create anywhere between 8 and 12 tracks, I am 4 tracks in right now. So that's coming out pretty soon. Once I get the name of it and get my get the feature track out, I'll put that on my Instagram page and all that good stuff. But man, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for allowing me to be here and sharing my vision and all that, man. It is much appreciated, really.
Thanks for listening today, everyone. That was episode 175. We'll be back this time next week. As always, hit the support button on your podcast streaming platform if you'd like to send any funds, and feel free to leave us that 5-star rating if you enjoyed today's episode. So we'll see you then. Thanks, everyone.